Alright guys, so Dragon Ball Daima is continuing on. I wanted to give a couple of episodes a little bit to build up before coming back and talking about Daima again. I do enjoy Daima quite a bit, like when actually watching it. Um, it does, so much of like discussion about the series I see is a lot of people talking about like, oh, like it seems like it's continuing down a path of GT, but it really does feel way more like original Dragon Ball to me than Dragon Ball GT. For sure. Now I do want to cover, basically the stuff that happened in these three episodes, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. A couple of the earlier episodes before we talk about the stuff that 8 and 9 are the two where really big stuff happens, including kind of like, I mean, you could say a little bit of like retcon type details and little things. I mean, it's such a Dragon Ball thing though, right? Like every time Toriyama continues, like he goes back and changes something from before. Like it's just a staple. It's just like, I don't know if it's just lazy to be like, oh, it's just what Dragon Ball does, but I mean, it's kind of just what Dragon Ball does, man. Right? Like it really is. All right, so let's episode 5. That's where we're introduced to Pansy, who is the demon realm inhabitant. Seems like she's kind of take on like a bit of a Bulma role in that she's like very smart with technology and stuff like that. Like she's able to fix their ship when it's broken at one point. Like that's what it is she really is kind of in like the Bulma role. In kind of like, points in Dragon Ball where like her expertise and stuff like that is needed. Now, Glorio and Goku do have a fight, right? Where it's kind of like a test to see how strong, Glorio and Goku want to test how strong each other are. And you do get a glimpse that you see that Glorio is working for Arinsu, the scientist. I don't, there's Supreme Kai. He's got his younger brother who is King Goma's, right-hand man. And then Arinsu, who is also Supreme Kai's sister, who is kind of like the mad scientist or whatever. Glorio's working for her. Now, Goku and Glorio fight. Glorio shows basically one ability, which is this, that he can kind of create like an electricity with his finger. Kind of like an electricity blast or beam or whatever. I don't know. Think of like... Darth Sidious, right, from Star Wars. It basically, Glorio basically is just using Force Lightning, I guess. I mean, it's sure, it's whatever. But Goku easily toys with Glorio, as you'd expect. Just going Super Saiyan 1 and Glorio is basically done. Like, Goku is able to just stop Glorio's lightning and then instantly, like, teleport behind him, put his hand on his back. Gotcha. Like, that's it. So Glorio... I mean, at least right now, I would not be surprised if Glorio ends up becoming, I don't know, a big-time villain later. Would that make sense? I don't know. Because it does seem like Glorio is warming up to them. I mean, we'll see in which direction the show is eventually going to take, right? So that's mostly what happens in episode 5. Well, I should say episode 5 and 6, right? Now, Pansy is actually the daughter of the king of the third demon world in the realm, or whatever it is. She's the daughter of the king. He sends out this attendant or guide or aide or whatever. It's Hibis or something like that. It's Hybis, I think is their name. To go get Bulma and Piccolo and Vegeta and them from, Kami's temple, right? Like the Guardian of the Earth temple. Bulma does fix the spaceship. It was Supreme Kai's original spaceship, but she's not able to completely fix it because there's an element, a material that isn't on Earth and is only from the demon realm. So, Hybis, or Hibis, however you say it, goes there, gets them, and then they're gonna come to the demon realm, right? So that's kind of like a big plot point that's happening. But then, once we get a little bit further on, it does get a bit annoying because it's like, there was like 6 or 7 episodes pretty much in a row where it's like the end of episode cliffhanger is like a plane issue, right? Like, oh no, the plane is not working. Oh no, our plane got stolen. Oh no, their plane got stolen. Like, it's just like episode after episode after episode in a row. Whereas like we have so much plane shenanigans actually happening, right? A lot of episode 7, the focus is on Pansy has a collar on. Everyone in the third demon realm, demon world, has a collar on, which King Goma and them are able to use to, I guess, kind of like, I don't know if I want to use the word control, but kind of keep the third demon world kind of like in line. And it's kind of revealed that it's a metal made from, Supreme Kai's original like planet, like where he's from. And he says it's probably Arinsu that's actually created those. And he's able to destroy Pansy's collar. They get attacked by Goma's troops, but I mean, those are mostly just kind of like, it's again, it feels very like OG Dragon Ball Goku messing with the Red Ribbon Army. Like that's what a lot of those moments feel like. Like there's so many different moments where Goku is like beating down Red Ribbon Army soldiers over the course of like 30 episodes of original Dragon Ball. And a lot of little moments with kind of like Goma's guard. That's what those do feel like. Like I again, if this doesn't, maybe I'm crazy. This doesn't really feel like GT to me. It's OG Dragon Ball is what it is. It's them getting back into the spirit. I mean, clearly that's like with them going back to Kid Goku. I mean, that's obviously what they want to do with GT, right? Was kind of go back to the spirit of original Dragon Ball, and that's what they're doing here. It's like I don't know whoever like makes the decision, if it was Toriyama who decided to go back to Kid Goku and stuff like that or what, but they do like doing it a lot where they go back to Kid Goku, right? And kind of like relive kind of, I mean, it's fun. There probably is a lot of people in Japan who it's like, they would think of like the glory years of Dragon Ball in its entirety, and they would probably think of that, right? Like the world tournaments and the OG stuff. Whereas I feel like nowadays, ask people what the glory is, and they're gonna say Andros has Cell Saga, Buu Saga, and now even younger generations are gonna be saying, I love the Tournament of Power, right? Like there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that. Like I feel like some people are cringe because Dragon Ball Super hate. Everyone's just, oh yeah, Dragon Ball Super is so bad. Well, no, Dragon Ball Super actually rocked, right? Like, yeah, sorry, it was actually fucking sick. Like, once you like I don't know, I mean, I don't want to say get over yourself a little bit, but if you get over yourself a little bit, I mean, it's pretty sick, Dragon Ball Super. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, we could point out a lot of holes all over the place, for sure. But was it sick? Yes, it was. Absolutely. One other thing that happened before we move on to episode 8 is that Supreme Kai's, like, I don't know, original name was revealed to be Nahare. It's kind of like, Goku. Like, Goku is kind of just, like, out there as Goku, but, like, his original name was Kakarot, right? Kind of the same thing. So Supreme Kai is called Nahare. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a card in, like, Dokkan or Legends or something like that, and he's going to be called Nahare. We'll see. We'll see, right? So, all right, now we'll move on to episode 8. So 5, 6, 7, kind of still just like establishing Daima and stuff like that. But 8 and 9 is where it does kind of like kick up, I think, quite a bit. The big thing with episode 8, now there's one thing I kind of didn't like. I didn't go back and watch the DBZ episode, but I don't know. Okay, so it's revealed that Arinsu is there during the Buu fight. And specifically, they show Majin Vegeta blow himself up with the final explosion. Remember, he explodes Buu into many different, like, little pieces. And Buu kind of like, they all turn into the mini Buus and fly into each other, regenerate. Boo! Boo's back, right? Fat Buu is back. So what they show is that Arinsu was there and grabbed a piece of Majin Buu. Like, after Majin Vegeta blows him up with the final explosion, she's able to, like, trap and keep a piece of Buu. And, she gets out of there. Now, the only thing I would say about that is, I mean, Piccolo, I mean, he was there. I don't know. I guess Piccolo flies off with Krillin, right? They fly quite a ways away. Majin Vegeta blows up. I guess she could have, like, quickly grabbed a piece. Then Piccolo, like, arrives at the crater. He's standing there monologuing for a little bit, and then Buu starts to come back. I guess. Maybe you could say Piccolo is very flustered, but, like, I don't know. Is Piccolo's strength, like, drastically different from, like, Buu Saga to Resurrection F? I don't know. I mean, Piccolo is always in a constant state of training, so he's getting stronger. But is it like, because remember, in Resurrection F, Sorbet and Tagoma are there, and they're pussies. They've got nothing. They can't do nothing. And Piccolo senses them at the start. He senses them on Earth. Now, Piccolo does kind of clown around and doesn't really do anything about it. But I don't know. Maybe Piccolo did sense Rinsu, but he just wasn't even worried about it. I don't know. Again, you could say Piccolo maybe was flustered because of Fat Boo. Piccolo was at the time dealing with the fact that Gohan was presumed dead as well. I mean, obviously, Piccolo cares about that quite a bit. I don't know. It's just a little thing. Like, I don't... It's whatever. But, I was thinking about that. Like, damn, like, Piccolo, like, for real? Like, you just let that happen? Piccolo is my man. I need him to, so he let Arinsu just walk right in there, grab a piece of Boo, and then, I mean, he's chilling there, Resurrection F. Yeah, Sorbet, bring Frieza back, baby. Just go ahead. No big deal. No big deal. Piccolo, I need Piccolo to tighten up, okay? Orange Piccolo, enough of this shit, okay? You better be the one to beat down Black Frieza at this rate, Piccolo. I'm tired of you. Yeah, so anyway, so she gets a piece of Majin Buu, and then Arinsu goes and visits this witch, Marba. I guess I'm talking a little bit out of order, because Goku does fight Tamagami 3 first, but we'll get to that. Which, that fight is sick. That was really good. Like, Goku versus Tamagami 3 is where we're talking about, like, major, like, actually really cool stuff added to Dokkan Legends. Kakarot has already announced Daima, Spark and Zero. Like that was pretty good. That was a good fight. But then Arinsu reveals that this witch, Marba, is actually the one who created Majin Buu and not Bibbidi. Now, that's another example, like, them going back and changing things. To me, that's not a big deal. Who cares, right? I mean, I guess it's fine, because then it sets the scene for them to be able to create other, kind of like demons on the level of Majin Buu in Daima, right? So, like, that, like, whatever. Because if it was Bibbidi that created Majin Buu, oh no, like, we can't get more Majin Buus since Bibbidi died 5 billion, zillion, quadrillion years ago. Right, so, like, I could sort of get that to an extent, right? So, Arinsu goes to Marba, has the piece of Majin Buu, she uses her spit, and then, taken a little bit from episode 9, then also a Cyberman seed, and then they create Majin Ku, who's the new, kind of like character. And again, Cybermen are used as a base to create him, but whatever. We'll get back to that. Let's talk about Goku versus Tamagami 3. Tamagami 3 is actually really sick. He's voiced, it's definitely the same guy that voices All Might and Might Guy, right? Voices Tamagami 3. Like, he's sick. Tamagami 3 is fun as hell. I would love to see him in game. But Goku and Tamagami 3 have a fight. It's a pretty good fight. Goku starts out in base. Tamagami's got his big hammer. Goku is mostly fighting him with a power pole. It's very fast-paced, very good. It's a really good fight. I thought it was very, very fun. And it did last a good... I mean, damn, I don't know. Was it about a 10-minute fight? Maybe it might have been so good it just felt like that. I'd go back and double-check, but it was definitely a good fight. Yeah, wow, no, looks like it was about 6 minutes, I think. About 6 minutes of a fight. So then Goku eventually goes Super Saiyan. Then they start using, like, Ki Blasts and stuff like that. Eventually Tamagami 3 does, like, kind of like his big, strong attack. Goku kind of, like, overpowers it with a Kamehameha. I believe he's still in Super Saiyan 1 for the Kamehameha. He overpowers Tamagami 3's Ki Blast, but Tamagami 3 is able to kind of, like, catch it and throw it up in the air, right? So it explodes. That's the end of the Ki Clash. Then, I think in that moment, Goku goes Super Saiyan 2, and, I mean, it functions as him one-shotting Tamagami 3, but he hits Tamagami with a huge elbow, and then he gives up. Tamagami 3 gives up at that point. So, I mean, I guess it's a little bit hard, like, they say that Deborah was not able to beat the Tamagamis. And, I mean, obviously, Goku is going to be significantly stronger from where he was in Busan. Like, Goku for sure, right? Like, the Saiyans. Like, I don't know about Piccolo, like, how fast his strength is improving. But the point I made about that earlier was just that in Resurrection F, he was able to sense Sorbet in them. So I know he could have sensed Sarinsu, during the Buu Saga as well. But like, remember, like Deborah and Cell, they're like vaguely, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan level. Like Gohan is definitely above Cell. I mean, I don't know. Like Deborah is kind of like in there. Oh, what Goku says though is that at like if it was what does Goku say in the Buu Saga? It's something like if it was 7 years ago, maybe it'd be a bit of a concern referencing Deborah. So it's hard to say, but Goku Super Saiyan 2 was clearly too much for Tamagami 3. We'll see if the other Tamagamis actually have like a higher level of power to where like they'll actually kind of like be able to do something, right? Well, do something more to make Goku go past Super Saiyan 2. Or who knows? Maybe Goku isn't even going to fight the other Tamagamis because, after Goku gets the Dragon Ball from Tamagami 3, then Glorio lets Arinsu know we got a Dragon Ball, and then she's like, okay, now it's time to proceed, and then that's where she goes to Marba to create Majin Ku, right? And then Arinsu, they use her spit so she can control Majin Ku. We'll see if that's actually going to happen. And then Majin Ku, she tells Majin Ku to go take out Tamagami 1. So I assume the next episode is going to be Majin Ku versus Tamagami 1. We'll see. But like now, obviously, we're going to start to get into big time characters. We'll see if Majin Ku is going to be kind of like the big boss or whatever like that, or if he has other forms, or if there's going to be other Majins that are going to be created. Marba does specify the witch who created Majin Buu and now she creates Majin Ku. She says she has 2 Cyberman seeds. One of them is used to create Majin Ku, so it's a safe assumption that there's going to be another kind of like new Majin born. So that's something to point out. Now, one other big point that does happen. So Habis, right, picks up Piccolo, Vegeta, Bulma, takes him into the Demon Realm. They do meet up briefly with Goku and them because their plane gets stolen by just like random thugs in a bar. The same thing that happened to Goku and Glorio earlier in the series. But they just meet up just to say, okay, we don't have room on our plane, and Goku and them just leave. But in like a lot of these interactions, Habis has an eye. I think it's a her, but in their belt. Habis has an eye in their belt. Actually, no, wait, because the king earlier at one point, he said, I know you don't have a girlfriend. Okay, so, well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Habis has an eye in their belt, right? So, they point out that, oh, I found this eye in the mountains. It's like a living eye or whatever like that. That has got to be the third eye that Goma wanted early on. Early on in episode 1, they talk about it. How I think it was Deborah's father, during his reign, they lost the great evil third eye. You put it on your forehead and you get like super mega power. So I'm pretty sure the eye in Habis's belt is probably that third eye, because I don't want to say that the show came to a grinding halt, pointed it on the eye and said, hey, look at this eye, but that's exactly what it did, right? So very clearly that's going to become kind of a big thing. So it's a lot of moving parts here. Right? Like, we do have kind of like the specter of fusion is hanging over our heads. The Tamagamis, after Goku's fight with Tamagami 3, they're now definitely very sick. Vegeta and Piccolo are on the Demon Realm. We'll see how much they're actually going to do. Like, are we going to see a new fusion, or is there going to be more Boos? What's going to happen with Arinsu? It is interesting. It's very interesting. And definitely, like, Arinsu and Glorio, they kind of are, like, Mira and Toa, man. Like, I don't know. This show, one thing I could check in and say, this show is, it feels just like Dragon Ball. Dude, it's not, like, I'm watching this, like, this is definitely Dragon Ball, man. This is definitely Dragon Ball. Like, I don't, yeah, it is Dragon Ball, but, like, this is definitely Dragon, you guys know what I'm talking about, man. Like, this is Dragon Ball, for sure. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. Especially once, like, kind of like, the episode 8 and 9, I thought were really good. Kind of like, going more into detail with Arinsu and her plans and stuff like that. Again, I don't really mind the, like, minor little alterations, like Marba created Boo, whatever. I feel like I'm more so, I'm not really like mad as like a plot hole, like why didn't Piccolo censor? I'm kind of more mad at Piccolo. Like I blame Piccolo for this, right? Like Piccolo, can you do, god damn you Piccolo. Enough is enough, man. Stop letting them just show up on Earth like that. Hello, Piccolo, please. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Definitely excited to see what's going to be coming up, you know, Majin Ku, Tamagami 3, all the different good stuff. Is Goku going to go Super Saiyan 3 at some point? Is there going to be like a new Saiyan form? I don't know. There could be a lot of craziness coming. Let me know what you guys think, but Daima definitely is starting to ramp up right now for sure.